Trailer Junkies!
Venom 2 trailer dropped.
Oh, you mean Carnage? Let there be carnage.
Yes, let there be carnage.
I mean, but it is called Venom.
Yeah, I know.
Sure, it's called Venom.
Let there be carnage.
And, you know, honestly, some people are really high on it. Some people are not as high on it.
Yeah.
What is everybody's genuine take of that trailer? And did it make you look more forward to this movie or less looking forward to this movie? Let's start with you, Amaraka. What was your take on the Venom 2 trailer?
I'm in the meh area with it.
Okay.
The Carnage looks good.
Venom looked good.
The Venom was gonna look good. They had to make sure it was better than last, but they know once again people are paying attention now, so like they're not gonna mess up too bad with some of this stuff. But when I first saw the Carnage, like when you pried the door open, it just I was like, huh. That looks good. And then everything else was just the breakfast was disturbing and very long.
That was ill-advised.
Yeah, that was a very, very long scene, and I'm pretty sure it's longer for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have made it where it didn't come out looking like crap. They should have just been like, yeah, he's actually cooking a good breakfast. Because, like, you don't need to. I don't know. I felt like it was blah, but I felt blah about the first
good breakfast
trailer
until it burst into flames.
Okay. Yeah. All right, you bring up a good point there, Dido. You said you felt like the first movie was going to be mad based on the original trailer, but you ended up enjoying it.
I ended up enjoying it.
Right.
I was disappointed about the trailer when I first watched it, first off, because it's not set in Spider-Man's universe. And Sony has the rights for Spider-Man, so they could easily, I just made up a new word.
Just making up words.
Made up a new word. They could have done it, but they chose not to. And now that Spider-Man is going to be really woven into the MCU, the deal between Sony and Disney has got them, hugging it out, whatever. They could have actually folded in more of the stuff. And I'm just like, Sony, what are you doing? But I went to go see the movie, watched the movie. I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Okay, no Spider-Man in it. It didn't hurt me at all. It was an enjoyable movie. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So this might be some of the same. One of the things I did like about the trailer, though, is that Tom Hardy was wearing a Detroit Lions jacket. And I'm going to tell you
I
something.
did peep that.
That was pretty cool.
Anything that represents this city that I love, it makes me a little happy. Because you don't get too much representation.
True. I thought it was really, and I'm with you on that with the first Venom trailer. The very, very first one, the teaser they did with no effects and stuff in it, and they were calling them symbiotes. I was just like, if y'all don't fix this garbage. And then they finally had the second trailer where he said, "We are Venom." That's all I was waiting for. I'm like, at least have him speak properly.
Yeah. Because
I always hated that about the third Spider-Man movie. Out of a lot of the other problems that they had with it, but it was just like I'm like that's not Venom.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you go there, I'm like, okay, now you lost me. You could that's like the simplest thing to get right in the scripting, and it's just like you couldn't even write that properly. But at least they got that in the first one. I'm mad that he lost his Ronald McDonald wig. I like that super overly ridiculously red wig that he had from the first one. So
that's hilarious.
Here's the thing: Woody Harrelson. Now that's a dude that can play a good villain.
Yeah,
that's a guy that is Natural Born Killers. I still go back to that all them years before. He plays a really good psychopath. So it's gonna be really cool to see him play Cletus Cassidy.
You know why though, right?
Yeah.
You know anything about his dad?
No, not really.
Look that shit up. His dad was kind of a fucked up guy, big time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He wants the Dido dictionary.
Yeah. So I actually did put a poll in the chat for all of the viewers to lend their votes and let us know what they thought about the trailer. Some of the quotes.
Once they get their votes, we keeping them.
Sure.
It's my vote now.
One of the some of the quotes out of the chat were saying that the trailer was kind of blah. He's like, Cassidius was like, that would be awesome if Kraven was in it. No, you got to save him for Spider-Man. No, you can't do that.
I bet you they don't say Kraven for Spider-Man. They're gonna have Kraven for some other Sony character that they're gonna bring in.
Henry Cavill is yes, it's Kraven. Yes, there you go. Right, but no, so I literally thought the trailer was kind of meh. Like it was just what put me off of the whole thing was just this continued buddy cop feeling that I got from Eddie and Venom. Like this slapstick almost comedy routine between the two of them. Like Eddie going to the store. Hi, Mrs. Chen. Hi. He's like, hi, Eddie. Hi, Venom. Like
you know about him?
I didn't really have an issue with that though.
But I mean, I don't know. It was just
That
it
part
just
of
struck
at
me
least,
as
anyway.
weird.
Just the Mrs. Chen thing, because it's like he revealed himself to her at the
He
end of the
did.
first movie.
He did.
So if that's somebody he's going to constantly see every day, it's just like, well, either she's cool with it or it's
Right.
like never come back into my store again.
Exactly.
So I had no problem with that. But no, I'm with you on they don't need to make it a buddy cop, and I think it's another example of a studio trying to copy what Marvel does. Marvel Studios proper does. They try to go for because Marvel's really good at comedy, but they know where the line is. There's every now and again they cross it and it's kind of like, okay, this is kind of stupid. But they know how to work it into their script, work it into the scene, and not go overboard.
Yeah.
This breakfast sequence, if this is truly what it's going to be like, that's way past the line. So we'll have to see, but I don't know. It's Sony's got to stay in their lane on some of these things, and it's like, you guys aren't Marvel proper, so stop trying.
I just don't understand why. Okay, so like Kevin Feige's the head of Disney, not Disney, but Marvel
Studios.
Yeah. Right, and he's really been doing a good job. Now I understand that Sony's producing this stuff, and I guess maybe it's the ego thing, maybe it's stuff that I just don't understand. But why not work with that guy a little bit closely to produce a movie? Because I just read a thing that said Venom actually made more money than all the X-Men movies and Deadpool, because apparently in the theater it did $800 million, and none of the X-Men movies did that much, which is surprising to me. And Deadpool, so like
you got to remember, X-Men came out at a time when it wasn't superheroes the way it is now.
That is also true, because now we are all going to go see every superhero movie that comes out, and almost every single one, does better than the next, it seems. But it's just, I don't know. Marvel. I don't know if Marvel listens to their fans or not, but they actually know what the fans want. Where again, we spoke about Sony, and they're just putting stuff out there.
I personally feel like the Marvel Studios arm, they'll listen to the fans, but in a way they kind of don't necessarily really even need to, because they've done such a good job of giving them what they want, or even giving them what they didn't know they needed ahead of time. Whereas other studios, Warner Brothers, even Sony, are arrogant enough to say, we know what you want. We don't have to listen to you. You're going to want this.
Well, what does the chat think? I mean, like, straight up, like, do you guys think Marvel Studios has their finger on the pulse, or do you think that they ignore the fans at times? And do you think some of the other studios could take a page out of their book and improve their product?
Good question. So now, speaking on the last part of this, so to your point, the officially Andy Serkis said afterwards in the IGN breakdown, there is no Spider-Man in it. We don't acknowledge the MCU. It takes place outside of the MCU. There's no bridge to the MCU. To your point, I feel like had Sony made more of an effort to try and work with Marvel Studios to closer integrate their characters, and honestly, I thought that's what this second Spider-Man deal was supposed to be about, that maybe Morbius and Venom would be more closely related to the MCU, but it looks like that's not happening. I do wonder why they're not trying to do that. Is this a jealousy thing, or I don't know? Because what were you going to say?
I was going to say, isn't Michael Keaton supposed to be in Venom?
Michael Keaton is supposed to be in Morbius.
Oh, Morbius, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got those mixed up. It's been so long because both of them were supposed to come out last year.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like all of a sudden it seemed like Morbius just fell off the radar.
Yeah, I was like, where is it?
I'm like, it seems like Morbius should have came out before Venom, actually.
You would think so, right? And every time I hear about Morbius, it keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah, next year now, January 21st.
Like it was on the slate, I think, for later this year, and it got pushed back again.
Wow.
So why it got pushed back, I don't know. That is a little bit concerning.
Probably taking out all the references that remind people of COVID.
Maybe could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Go ahead,
I'm
Mark.
joking.
What were you
I
gonna
hope they
say?
don't.
Oh no, I was agreeing. I didn't think about even that, because that's what kind of affected a lot of even the Falcon stuff. They had to kind of eliminate some of the COVID stuff out of it, or some of the virus stuff out of it. That's happening a lot.
I know,
So
but
I
they
can
need to
see
leave,
that
they need to
affecting
leave it in there
production.
because that's part of the character.
What are they saying in the shot there?
The Iguana Man has said Marvel blazed the trail. It's still fairly new territory. Everybody's still feeling it out. But he goes on to say, you see Marvel taking more liberties now, like breaking Walker's arm in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and more curse words and the somber tone of Endgame. Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's a living, breathing universe, and I think that's what makes it work. Because the only exception to that, and it's not a true exception, is you notice the tone change in Spider-Man Far From Home was a little bit of a disjoint, but obviously they had to acknowledge, the snap and all the other crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But you could tell that movie was made by a different studio in the sense of the way things rolled in. It just felt a little disjointed, a little out of place, but it's still, it kind of worked. So it's good to see that,
Yeah.
this universe is expanding the way it is, and it's all connected. Hey, we hope you enjoyed that clip. Make sure you check out our live content on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/culturejunkies. We also have a lot of content available on YouTube, unboxings as well as Blu-ray reviews. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/culturejunkies. And on top of all of that, if you go to culturejunkies.net, you can check out our merch store. The link is culturejunkies.net/merch. There's a lot of great merchandise there. So there's links and logos and stuff all around me. So check those out, and we will see you next time.